Some of the topics explored by the group of media practitioners and the telecommunications experts included broadcasting and spectrum monitoring, and the role of the minister responsible for telecommunications. The proposed new electronic communications bill was also discussed. Mbert Charles is the managing director of ECTEL.
Regulations we're speaking about is really the parent regulation for the operation of the NTRC. And some of the fundamental changes in these new regulations relate to, one, the impact of convergence on the sector. A few years ago when it was set up, it was the Telecommunications Act, because we were primarily regulating telecommunications. Since convergence, it has become electronic communications because everything is delivered on the same platform now. You're not regulating voice versus data versus transmission for video and so forth. They're all on the same platform. So the new act will speak to what we call an electronic communications bill. And it redefines the parameters of which we will be regulating the sector. It also strengthens the role of the NTRC as far as its intervention is concerned. For instance, the discussions in this forum has been about what powers they have to deal with issues of interference, for instance. These powers are being strengthened. It will be more direct, more immediate.
Facilitating investment in the sector and strengthening provisions for competition among companies were also looked at.
So facilitating more investment in the sector. Because we are a regional unit, a few years ago, if, for instance, an investor came to Grenada and got a license in Grenada, this person had to go to St. Lucia to get a new license, then go to St. Vincent to get a license. Within the new system, once you get a license in St. Lucia or in Grenada, and that you are able to roll out your business within a certain period of time, there's no need to reapply for a license formally. Your license will just be granted based on some exchange of correspondence. There's also strengthening some of what we call the anti-competition provisions in the regulations. Right now, companies can just sort of come together. They can move shares from one to the other. They change their nature without even informing the regulator. There is some more obligation now to inform the regulator of these things so that we have to assess whether they'll have an impact on the market. So you don't reach a situation where we left off, we're going back to that situation.
Charles says recommendations were made and all the draft laws for the proposed legislation have been prepared from member states. He said the time it would be presented depends on how high it is on each country's priority list. The theme of the seminar today was Changes in the Regulatory Landscape for Electronic Communications, the Role of ECTEL. Joseph McKee-Smith, GBN News.